Let's talk about Manchester City, because a late goal when you are in a title race, which they very much are in, is huge. What will that do for the dressing room?
Relief. I think today was a relief. Obviously, they won on a mistake from Michael Keane, and obviously the penalty decision was huge. So they got away with one today. You know, Everton were great, worked hard. Look, Man City dominated the ball, had way more shots, obviously. You know, but they didn't really create a ton from open play. Pickford made a couple saves. They weren't at the races today. You know, and credit Everton, they really frustrated them. But that could be a huge moment in this title race. Winning a game when you play poorly and come away with 3 points is massive.
It's quite scary because actually both Manchester City and Liverpool are going to have to be pretty much perfect until the end of the season. That will dictate who wins this.
Yeah, and both teams can't be perfect due to them playing each other. But yeah, even when they do play each other, regardless of the outcome, it's not going to be over. It's going to go right down to the wire, and I'm sure they're both aware of that. And I think us outside of the two clubs were getting carried away with the 12-point gap and the games in hand, but the messages from both managers is that it wasn't over, and that we're seeing that now. And obviously, as it gets closer to the game between the two teams, it's going to be hugely important.
Well, talking of that moment, let's have a look at their fixtures from now up until that moment. What do you think, Owen? Which position would you rather be in, Man City's or Liverpool's?
Well, I think City have the easier fixtures. You know, you look at United, obviously, at home. Obviously, you know, United, you never really know, but they should beat Palace, they should beat Brighton, they should beat Burnley. And then up to that Liverpool game, you know, it's absolute game on. I think Liverpool got the harder fixtures, you know, without question. Arsenal away is a tough one. West Ham, you know, they're good on their day. Brighton, okay, they've gone off the boil a bit, but when they get it right, they're good. So Watford are fighting for their lives, you know. So I think Liverpool have the harder fixtures, but they're both in such good form. I don't think they're worried about anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of teams that we're seeing there, they're fighting for something, aren't they, Joleon?
Yeah, definitely. So it's going to, again, be important. And even looking at the goal difference, I'm sure there's going to be a game where Pep's going to encourage his team to increase the volume of goals, just so they can obviously, because it may come down to that. We don't know what it's going to decide the title. But yeah, between the two teams, looking at that, you want the points. You want to be chasing. Yeah. You want to be the ones that are having to be chased. So I'm sure everyone outside of Liverpool would rather be in the City position.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, now something to make you both smile and you at home smile. We saw this image of this gorgeous young Manchester City fan at the ground. Look at him. He's crying because he's just been given a Kevin De Bruyne shirt. You can just see what it means to him. He can't hold his tears back. De Bruyne went over to him at full time and handed him the shirt. I mean, isn't that beautiful?
Oh, it's the best.
Look at the thumbs up.
I've taken my son to one game and his reaction was similar. You know, he couldn't believe what was happening, but they're the next generation. They're the ones you want to inspire, you know, to get your hero shirt. I mean, that couldn't get any better than that.
It's such a beautiful moment, really beautiful moment. Let's have a quick word on Everton as well, Joleon. What will they have learned? What will Frank Lampard have learned from today?
That his players fighting for him, can understand his game plan, and are committed to the cause. Yeah, that they didn't come away with any points today, but there's a lot of commitment and understanding of what he was trying to do. There's going to be games there that they're going to be favourites in, so that'll be different. They wasn't favourites today. He was going to be backs against the wall and take chances from minimal efforts on goal. But there's going to be games there. They're going to be the favourites in. I think the Newcastle game stands out to me because since Frank's took over, I think that was probably the poorest performance I've seen Everton have under Frank. So I'm sure he's going to try and rectify that.
Yeah, I mean, he questioned their mentality, didn't he? He said, look, when we go behind in games, when we're struggling, we don't have the mentality to get back into them. But judging by the performance today, that wasn't an issue, was it?
No, the effort and intensity was fantastic. So I think, especially I thought the midfield three were great. Alan was probably the best player on the pitch for them. Doucouré.
You like that midfield, don't you?
Yeah, that is not a relegation midfield, and the effort wasn't a relegation side. They didn't look like, you know, they're playing the best team in the country, and they didn't struggle. So I think Frank will be delighted, but they need more at the top of the pitch. They need more goals. They need more creativity, and cut out that mistake from Keane. That was a killer. But otherwise, I think Frank will be really proud of those players. That's not a group of players going down.